So right now I'm just downloading some pictures of a helmet that I like to create. And then I'm going to go here and insert. And this canvas is good. I have a side view and a front view. So I'm going to click the front view. Let's see, I gotta move my thing here real quick. And it's going to be on the front view, so you click on the front plane. And then you can change the size to whatever you want. I like to make it a little bit bigger so I can see it. And then so you would do this with like your sketches. If you have like your orthographic sketches that you've been working on, you can just do the same thing. JPEG, PNG, any kind of file would work. And then you do the same thing with the side view. Lumos side. And then just click on this plane. Let's make it big. And this one's like a I'm guessing game. You just try and make it the same size as the front view. And you can move it around, see it better. That looks pretty good. I think that's a there and okay. And then we start from here. So I'm gonna go create form and then quad ball. That's usually my steps in how to do the helmet. And then I like to move this thing. It's called span faces, making it 3, so you can add a little bit more detail. And it's a new body, no symmetry is fine. Actually, you could, if you wanted to, add a symmetry, but I haven't been using that this whole time. Okay, so then once you're here, you want to make it as like close as possible to the helmet that you're copying. So if you go to modify, edit form, it's the first one. This one is like the widest range of editable tools. I guess when you click on the ball, you have this. So if you highlight the whole thing, it edits the whole thing. You can also highlight like specific parts, specific planes, and even specific lines. If you double click on a line, it spans the whole line around the ball, and that works for all the lines. Unless there's like a tangent right here, then it'll just stop at those tangents. So I'm just going to try and get it a similar size to this helmet here.
Ryan, it looks like we have a question in the chat.
Oh, great. I can't see the chat, so if you guys could see. Okay, here we go. How did you bring in oh, yes. So sorry, I am jumping the gun. That is a good question. So I will do that right now. Let me move it back. So we're just going to move it back. So for the human head, I'm using this guy, right? And I already aligned it to like the center of the origin, so it's just easier when we move it over. And you can do that by just moving the entire thing. So let's see, if you just click on the body, oh wait, nope, sorry, components, and then you just click on this guy and you can move it around. But that's just in its own file. So if you go back here, and what I do, and there's several ways to do this. Since I already had it open, it's right here. Right click, and you can insert into current design, or you can just drag and drop it into the design, and then I'll just do that.
What? I never knew that.
Oh. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to do that. You could also just work with the template that you're working on. And then if you have it here, you can just save as. Let's see, you can just go save as, and then save it as your helmet, and then start working on it. And then it just save it as a different file. But this way is easier. You just bring it in. It comes in as a component. So let's see if I think I'm already here. I can move the components. Yeah, okay, so then these things pop up, right? Just like the decals. And you can just, I just basically just bring it down to the helmet. Like so. You can, I think you can translate, let's see. Let's try, oh wait. Let's translate. I don't know why I can't modify. Oh, you can scale it, okay. Having issues, okay. Let's try that again. I don't know why I can't scale it, but do it here. I think I'll just bring it down here.
You have to break the link.
You have to bring the link. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Capture position. And then what happens when you break it? And then you can modify it?
Yeah, that's what I've been finding.
Okay.
I don't know about a mesh file like this. Though.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so then let's do that. Since the helmets aren't big enough. Oh my goodness. Let's see what happens over here. Okay. So let's just say we put the body in first, and then we added the decals. So let's adjust the decal so it fits the head. Boop. And then just boop. Pretty good. Close enough. And then do the same thing with the other one. Edit this guy. But you can always change this whenever just down the line. If it's like not big enough or too small, you can just fix it.
Are you going to show us how to make straps on the helmet?
I can if we have time, hopefully. But yeah, it's the straps are pretty simple too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So we got that here. I guess we got to make it bigger now. This is like the most tedious part, I guess, in the helmet making. Just got to make it like as smooth as possible into like whatever shape you're trying to get to. And then for this point here, I think I would just maybe just grab these top points and just kind of drag it out. And then I can just cut it out later. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Let's see, I think that's pretty good. And the front, yeah, it's really skinny. Do the front side. Oh, whoops. Okay, so see how those are dots? So you can check different filters. So right now it's only highlighting dots. You can check lines and it'll pick the lines, faces, the whole thing, and then all is just everything. So I want to do this, widen it a little bit, bring it up scale it just a little bit. Looks like I have to bring up. That looks good. Oh, okay. So for this demo, I'm thinking of keeping it solid, or no, I think I'll make it hollow and then thicken it before cutting everything. So to do that, you just want to just delete, I would just delete the bottom portion by highlighting a face and then hitting backspace or delete on your keyboard. And then for some reason, whenever you do that and then you finish the form, it keeps it hollow. If you don't do that, and then it solidifies when you finish the form. So just something to keep in mind. So, okay, that's good. I think I'll do that. And then you're done. Just kidding. We have a lot more to go. And then see, this is our body. We want to keep everything organized. So I just named this one, and then I'm going to copy by Control-C, Control-V, and copies it and puts it in the same space. Press Enter, and now you have two of them right here. And I just hide this one. So if I, screw up this one, or I just don't like where it's going when I'm making it, I can just come back to the original form and start over. And you can do that anywhere within the steps. Let's see. So I think, yeah, I said I was gonna try and thicken it. So, okay, sorry, I'm going too fast. So you click on the form, go to create, and then thicken, and that's going to, thicken the, the form. And I'm gonna hide the head since it's not really doing anything right now. And you can see here, this is the inside of the form, right? It's hollow. I'm gonna hide the canvases too. So if I go inwards, you can see it thickening. And this turns the form into a body, which is like a secondary term. But I don't want to be that thick. I think I want it, let me just 0.1. Yeah, to start off. Okay. So if we bring the canvases back, let's see, what were some questions that were on how do you alter the surface? Okay, so we brought the quad ball, we oriented it, bring in the images. And then, yeah, so let's add some. So now we're gonna do the form of the helmet by adding sketches. I like to move away from the quad ball when I'm sketching so it's not like in the way. So you go to construct, and you can construct a plane anywhere, but it's the easiest to just do an offset plane. And then you click, oh, whoops. Looks like I already did it. Okay, so then you just click on the plane that you want to offset, drag the arrow out to here. Okay. And then when you're ready to sketch, you just click on the plane and sketch. So now you can see that it's like out here. But that's just my process. You can do whatever you want. And then I start off by creating a boundary around the helmet. So it's just easier for me to see where I'm working with. And I'm gonna cut the bottom of the helmet. Boop, boop. Oh, sorry, that was a line. I don't know how much I should be explaining things, but that was a spline. Click on the spline, and then it's just like, it adds, and anytime you click on a point, it adds these, what are these things called? I don't know. These drag points, which helps you finesse where the angles and the curves of the line. So you can just grab it and put it. So this little trick that I like to do whenever you're clicking right now, see how it kind of jumps to like a grid? But if you hold down Control while you're dragging, it smooths it out. So that's just a little trick I like to use because this kind of gets annoying. Kind of like you can't get it to that specific spot you want. So holding Control smooths it out. And then I just drag the line outside of the boundary. So then it creates separate boundaries. See those highlighted portions? And then I'm just going to cut this part out. But I want to add more sketch lines. So for this portion, you got to figure out which way you want to cut into the helmet. So if you look from the front, if you cut this way, it won't add this curvature when you cut from the front. And so I'm gonna try and cut from the side, and it's just trial and error. So if it doesn't work from the front, just go from the side or like try a different angle. So I'm just gonna add another spline here to get to that top piece. I should probably move. Let me finish real quick. And the cool thing about this feature is you can just move it anytime during your process. So if it's not working out or if it's like not lining, I can just do that, and then yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, so then you just go back to here, edit sketch, move this up. I think that looks good. And then another one for the bottom portion. Okay, anchor points, yeah. Let's go higher. Oop. And then it looks like there's another portion of the helmet here that goes across. Oop. That was easy. That's everything. There is this curve crease. I'm trying to think how I would do that. I think I would add another cut point. I'll have to see where that takes me later down the line. That looks good. So let's just make the general shape. So you can either finish, so there's two ways. You can either finish the sketch or just go straight into extrude. Click on the thing that you want to cut. Drag it out. And then I'll cut the body. See how it cuts there. And you can also choose. If there were multiple bodies, you could choose which ones to cut and not to cut. Oh, looks like I missed something. Let's see, what did I miss? Oh, okay. So just gotta go back, edit, click this. Looks like I missed this portion. Recut, yeah. It's a little better. Okay. Okay, so there's also going to be an inner portion, the foam, or like the support structures in the front. I think I would go from, probably go from the top angle. Actually, no, I would do a side cut again also here and just go straight through, but it's a different sketch that time. So I would get my, let's call this outer shell. And then I would get my OG, copy paste. Call this one phone, so I don't get lost. And then let's thicken this one a little bit more since it's the phone structure. It's probably good enough. Let's see, so what happens when we go cut through the side? Yeah, that should be okay. Okay. Oops. And then same thing. Oh. Same cut, sketch. It's kind of hard to see here, but I'm trying. See how there's like it's like a support foam. It's different shape. Kind of hard to see, but we'll do our best. So it just cuts across. This one doesn't have to be too pretty because it's hidden by the outer shell. So probably something like that. So what does it look like from the front? Okay, so it's going to be cutting here. Here. Actually, let's go from the front. Not getting enough time. So I like to do, just put this random line here that's in the center of the helmet, change it to center line, and then fix it so it doesn't move. And then that's going to be my mirror point. Looks like we have some points here. I can just go through the phone. I feel like we need some music. And then another, looks like another hole here. But this one kind of just stops right here. So it could probably cut through and then just make it stop. Are there any questions so far? We're doing good.
How did you like when you're making the holes, you like made that rectangle and then drew like across it to make the cross sections.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly like there. How did you make it so you could just like draw onto that rectangle? So it's easier to just like,
Oh, so like when I pulled the plane out?
yeah, when it's just like a whole, there's that whole plane that you're kind of just drawing on, and it makes those holes for you.
Oh, sure. So here, if I go back to this step, it's called construct a plane. So offset plane.
Yeah.
And then this shows up. You click on this, and then you just drag out the plane that you want it to offset. And then once you click OK, it's something that you can work on. But I already made it here. And then when you want to sketch, you just click on sketch, and then you click on the plane that you want to highlight or you want to work on. Does that make sense?
How did you work? Yeah, that makes sense. But how did you work like in that rectangle? That does that make sense? Like
How do
when
I
you
work in the
like,
rectangle? So I'm in the sketch. So when I edit the sketch, it just goes up to it, and then I'm working in the rectangle.
you just made you just sketched a rectangle.
So this rectangle is just right here, just 2-point rectangle. And then I'm just sketching on the plane.
And it just automatically makes holes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
it speeds up my process, I guess. You don't really need this rectangle because it'll just highlight these two once you finish the holes. But it's just a personal preference for me.
yeah, I feel like
Um,
it's just like more organized.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
hmm So then I'm gonna highlight, and then to mirror it, you just click on mirror, click on the objects that you want, which are the lines. And then when you go over here, mirror line, it's this line that I created earlier. And it just pops up on this side. And then just click OK, and it just shows up. Let's see if that works. Never done this part before, but we'll see.
I have a really late question to ask,
Here.
but when you put your decals or canvases in, is there a way to have them, like have the midpoint of them go along the perpendicular plane? So it's like it's going to be mirrored no matter what you do?
Yes, I think so. Let me finish. So I'm gonna go back to the decal.
It's so long to ask that it just came up just now in my head.
Oh, it's okay. So whenever you insert any like picture, it's going to automatically just be in the center, but you can always just oh, okay. So you can always move it to the center. I like to just eye it. You can do it here with all like these different distances from the center points. You can scale it like a certain way. You can flip it along the side. So does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's bring it back here. So I already have this other sketch. I'm just going to cut across this form real quick just to get rid of it. Oh, it did a thing again. Okay. Yeah, so that's the foam. Cut. Let's see what happens. I haven't done this part yet. I'm just curious. It's probably gonna look really wonky. Okay, okay. So I'm just kind of analyzing, see where it goes, if it works or not. But we'll see how it looks like aesthetically after we cut the shell part. So I'm just gonna hide that real quick and then go back to our shell. And we are going to cut out the top parts. So let's extrude. And we want this part, and oh, looks like I forgot a line. Okay. Let's edit that. So I just go back here, edit. What line did I miss? Oh, it's this one. Did you guys see that? Yeah. So you just go in here, edit in pretty quick. This thing has like a light and it like swoops up. So I just go, I think here's good. Just guessing. There we go. Okay. So if we finish that sketch, I think, so what? Yeah, I kind of, oh no, wait. I need to make a new sketch. Sorry, not a new sketch, a new extrude. Okay, so we want this one, and this one, and this one. Let's get rid of these. Let's see what happens. Go through here. So right now it's in cut. So if you change it to intersect, it saves the pieces that you cut through, if that makes sense. Not bad. And then, let's see, I only cut one thing because it's there. Okay. Not bad. Okay. Get rid of that origin. So then, see what happens when we bring it in. Oh, okay. So when we cut it into 3, it automatically makes shell 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to just like organize it, you can move things around. I think you can even add folders, new group. So I'm just gonna call this the shell. Okay, highlight shell. Okay. Grab these 3. You want to stay. Oh, wrong one. You want to stay organized because the helmet's gonna have a lot of components later on, or any project that you're working on, it just gets cluttered. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Okay, so for this foam piece, it's like shrunken in, right? It's underneath the shell layer. So what I want to do is press pull. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Let's get. Okay, so this is it. If I click on just any face of the helmet, and I just press pull, and then let's go in just a tad, maybe like point, okay, 0.0, let's do 0.02. I don't want to go too crazy. You can barely see the difference, but here's what happens. It shrinks the entire face of the helmet. Oh, that's not enough. You can go more. Okay, so then let's do a little bit more. I want to make it dramatic. Sure. You guys can see that. So now it's like the shell and then the inner foam. For this part, so now we can cut through the foam. Let's see what happens there. Click on these points. I'm just gonna cut through. And then I'm going to select the objects that I want, which is just the body 5. That's my foam body, and then the shell. Let's see what happens. Oh, I went too far. Bring it back. The computer is not liking this. That's not too bad. Let's see what. Let's see. Let we see the canvas. It like stops there ish. Good enough. Look a little wonky, but we'll fix that later. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Like the bodies. Oh, in this case. Oh, okay, so it looks like there's a hole here, and then it just cuts off here. So gotta get rid of that. There's another one here, but that's like at an angle. But just for the sake of time, we're just gonna cut through that. Yeah, okay. That's not too bad. Let me change this to foam so I don't forget what it is. Get rid of the shell. See, that was my original plane that I made, the first one. I can just go back to it again. Oh, whoops. What did it do? Well, okay, well then we can just make a new sketch plane so we don't have any confusion. Third plane, new sketch. Oh, okay, that's what it is. It's just showing up. I don't want that there. Okay, what happened? Just a second, guys. My mouse just died, of course. Oh my goodness. Where were we? Okay, so just create the square. You don't have to, but I do anyway. We're trying to do the phone. It's so hard to see. Okay, so we have that back portion that we talked about earlier. So I'm just going to cut through that. Come up here. Whoa. Oh. So I do this box because then I can just make the line. I don't have to connect the two lines. It just saves on an extra step. And then I can just move it and it's just automatically there. And then if I have to fix it again later on, I can just move these lines down the line and then it'll just automatically update whenever I fix it. There's another hole here. We do any questions or concerns? I think that looks good. This one. And then we did that. It's fine. Cool. Let's give that a try. So that one. happens when you just cut right there. Cool. Your phone looks wonky. The great thing is you can just hide it. That part happened. What happened there? What is that? Oh, okay, okay. It wasn't inside. There we go. Good. See that? You can just go back to the sketch, fix it, and then it'll just automatically update. Oh, it's not looking too bad. Okay. For what little time we have. That looks a little weird. We can just get rid of that. What was that? This one? This one. I'm just gonna suppress it because I don't like how it looks. It's good so far. The thing is, the foam is a little too far in, so I guess I could just fix that real quick. Where was that? It was here. You can just kind of eye it, or you can do it like precisely. So if your shell went in 0.13 or went out 0.13 or whatever, then you can just do this 0.13 in, anything like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm recording this, so I'm gonna put this somewhere in the announcements or under files or something. Professor McCluskey can show me where to put the file. All right, so it's basically the helmet. Let's see, what else does it look like? There's some little features. So there's going to be some chamfers. This light feature. Okay, I guess I can show you this light feature. That one's pretty simple. You just go to the front sketch, or make a front sketch. Drag it out. Okay. Click the plane, sketch, front. There's also this feature. It's called look at. So if you ever get lost and you're like, oh, I don't know how to get to it, you just click this and it just brings it right to you, which is pretty helpful for me because I get lost all the time. And same deal. I mean, you don't have to make this line. I just do it because it's, I don't know, just a weird habit, but you can just use the origin also to make the mirror line. So whichever way you want to do it. We are going to just cut this part out and make it into a light. Super simple. Looks like our thing is a little bit bigger, but that's okay. You can always just adjust. This one, since it's going to be mirrored, we want to make it flat. So just click on this green bar, which is the handles, like this, and then just click on this horizontal and vertical, and it'll just automatically click on, or it'll automatically choose horizontal since it's like the most horizontal. But you can always change that. Let's see, and that goes there. This one doesn't have to be perfect either. Ah, sorry. Just kind of collates it. Nope, don't want to do that. Oh, this one. There we go. Cool. And then we can mirror it. Boop. And just automatically creates a shape. And then we're gonna, oh, actually before we do that, we need to make a second part. I guess you could just cut the line, but it'd be easier for me to just make another part. This one, this one. Let's call it the shell, or sorry, the light. Yeah. Okay, since we can see everything better. Oop. Intersect. Okay. Oh, I guess there's another. Guess we should cut this part out too, huh? Like the most convoluted way to cut a line. Let's get rid of that. Yay, light. That was the dumbest way to do it, but that's how you do it. You could, let me show you the right way to do that. Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. Okay. You essentially just make a line and then you can just cut through it, I think. But I haven't done that, so. Yeah. Oh yeah, split face. Okay. You can just split a face. But it's already cut, so that's one way to do it. Also, there's multiple ways to just make those things. Just gonna get rid of that. Forget we ever did that. And then that's the light portion. There's also that backlight that we could add. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're in an hour. Let's see, let's start adding fillets. So you have your general shape, right? And then there's like little details that you can mess with. There's that little divot that if you wanted to add. There's chamfers, fillets, but that was like the major part of the helmet and that we're done with. So let's see, that's kind of any problems. Okay, so sorry, I'm going too fast. Click on the line, fillet, and you can choose types of fillets. It's like a chord length, variable, tangent chain, which like it picks like the entire line. So if you wanted this entire thing, it'll pick it. But then you just grab it, or you can change it here to make it more specific. Either way. Let's see. Ooh. I'm surprised that actually went that far. Sometimes my fillets don't really like me when it comes to this part of the helmet, but worked out okay. You can just keep adding more fillets, make it more softer on the inside. Instead of creating multiple like fillet features, you can just also like add a selection set. So you can do this one. This one's probably gonna be a little problematic because it's a weird shape. Let's see if it works. Oh, okay, not too bad. You do that, and instead of like okay, you can just click another one, and it'll just fine, and then you can click on a different one. We'll probably want to do this one. It's a little light. We'll probably want to keep it the same length, just to make it look good. Let's see, what other questions are there? Surface by pushing pulling points on a segment. Okay. Or like ribs and stuff, yeah. We can add ribs by using planes. But I've never done that. I don't know if Steven would want to talk about ribs. Do you know how to do ribs, Steven?
Honestly, yeah, when it comes to surface modeling,
Mhm.
I'm not super thorough with that, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if I have a good answer.
Okay. This helmet doesn't really have rib feature. Okay. We can talk more about it later. So we want to chamfer this, I believe. Yeah, it's a pretty big chamfer. You guys can see that right here. So let's try and do that. It's already there because of that cut that we did, but we can add more. So just click on this. It follows all the way around. Pretty good. Let's see. Sometimes. Oh, it's so slow. My poor computer does not like chamfers. It's like wigging out. Oh my goodness. Let's not do that again. Let's just do a really small one. But you guys get the idea. You got the chamfer. Oop. Put more fillets here to soften up the foam. Oh, actually, so sometimes when I do this, I get a little lost on what parts are. And this highlighting feature doesn't really help because it doesn't highlight the entire thing. So I like to just color it real quick. So when you're here and you just push A on the keyboard, appearance shows up. And I like to just quickly throw in a color. So like plastic shell. Let's make it a blue or a red helmet, make it look cool. And you can just grab and drag right there. And now you can see your helmet better, right? And then you can just make it a plastic black, or there's actually polystyrene, which is the helmet material. And this is more in the rendering section, which Steven will get into next workshop, and he can render the helmet better. But right now, it's just easier to see. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Chamfer. Chamfer. Come on. Sorry, guys. Don't have the best computer for this, I guess. Okay, so that's the general idea. Unless you guys have any more questions. Oh, what's this? For some reason, I did my split face on my helmet and tried to thicken it. It wouldn't let me select any other face when I tried to thicken it. When I did my split face. Okay, so Priscilla, did you want to explain more about what you meant? And that was
Oh
animated.
yeah, like
Sorry, I don't see the chat. So
it's okay. Like when I was trying to like do its a split face, like I have this top part like it's like a bump on
Mhm.
my top of my helmet, and I did a split face, and then I was trying to select the parts where I want to thicken it, and for some reason it wouldn't let me select the faces, the parts where I want to thicken it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Ryan?
Yeah.
If I can explain what she's looking for, because Priscilla and I were talking about this the other day.
okay.
Imagine if you put like a shape on the top of your shell
Yeah, right here. Okay.
and you wanted it to stand up like 1/8 of an inch or something like that. How would you do that?
Stand up as in, oh, like a rib, like a fin.
Yeah, almost like a fin, but let's say you made like a mohawk.
Okay. Okay. Let's make a mohawk. Okay.
Give your helmet a mohawk.
Let's do the helmet mohawk. Thank you. Let's do this. So there is a rib feature, and I think that's what it's trying to do. Never done this, so let's see. Do a little mohawk. See what happens there. Sure, if you have to close it.
That's a little different than what we were talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm giving it a mohawk though.
Yeah, no, go for it now. But of course, you got to give it a mohawk now.
What?
Imagine if you mapped a shape on the top of your helmet from above.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and hit those faces. Can you bump out those faces? Now, one way I was thinking about is you could maybe do an offset surface
Mm-hmm.
and then thicken that offset surface and maybe combine the two surfaces. I don't know.
Oh, man. It's really weird.
Would it be easier if I share screen or something?
Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. Do you think is everybody okay with that? We can just stop the share.
Okay. Yeah, so for like this part that I wanted to thicken it wouldn't like let
Okay.
me select the faces. Yeah, like
You're trying to thicken a specific section?
yeah, like for this, like I wanted this part, but then it won't let me like select any of the faces. Yeah.
Okay, then thicken. Okay. Looks like it's, oh, I think it's because it's a body. So if you hide one of the bodies or one of the forms. So right now what we're looking at is a body. We want a form to thicken.
Yeah.
So if you hide body 14 with the eye, yeah. And then
I accidentally, oh yeah, okay.
oh, okay, so that's body 14.
Yeah, I accidentally with this part kind of connected with this part, and I don't know how that happened, but
Okay. Is that a form then? Oh no, that's the thickened body we're also looking at. Okay. Yeah, so the thing with thicken, it only works with forms. So if you have that specific form, so you can also cut the form into that shape that you want. So it looks like you extrude cut from the side and then you can thicken that top form. Does that make sense?
no, sorry, can you explain that again?
Yeah, so can you hide your Can you find the forms that this body that I'm looking at? Can you unhide those?
These?
Yeah, so hide those and then unhide the forms, the orange little the orange bodies. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry. I think it's that one. Yeah, foam 1. Yeah, what's that?
Or like,
Or sorry, foam 5.
I can just like
Original
do that one.
yes, I will show the strap right after this. Okay, so yeah. So you have your shape. So if you cut this into the shape that you want, and then it will separate into several forms. It's not a body yet, it's still this really thin shape, and then you can thicken those individual shapes.
So like,
Let me show you on my screen. Let me share screen. So sorry, I'm really bad with
it's okay.
okay, so let me just grab it real quick. Oops. Okay, so you have this, right? So you have your helmet, and then you can actually just sorry. Let me get rid of just go real quick. Get on the bottom. Finish. So you have this, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what you can do is then cut you can cut this form. Okay. And let's cut it real quick. Let's but before we cut it, we need to copy this. And cut this. Intersect. Boop. Okay, so now we have separate bodies. See, we have this part, and then we have the regular part that we just had. You can also cut this too. So let's do that. We intersected that last one, and then we can just cut this other one. So now we have this. See, do you see that? Okay, so this is your helmet, right? We have 3 separate parts. So now what we can do is thicken. So you have to be in the create form. So this is a form, and then when we thicken it, it turns into a body. That's the confusion, I think, is what we're talking about. So we can thicken these 2 faces. Whoop. And we cannot. Let's see. Let's get rid of this middle one. Thicken. Okay, it looks like you can only do it individually, which is fine. We can just do that later. So then see how it becomes a body.
Oh yeah.
And then if we do it to the other one, same thing, 0.10, which is what that did. So now we can do this guy. If we thicken this one differently, we can thicken it outwards.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I doing what you're wanting?
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
similar to that.
Cool. So now we have this wonky looking Spartan helmet. And then now they're all 3 separate bodies. And then you could probably just side right, side left, and then the middle, rename them. And then you can also just, let's try and fill at the edge. See what happens. Yeah, it has issues. But anyway, that's the general idea. But yeah, does that
Yeah,
answer your question? Okay,
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Thank
Cool.
you.
awesome. Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up. Okay, so yes, helmet straps. I'm so sorry. Let's do that. Let's get the face in. He looks like in a weird spot. Let's move him real quick. So what I did was I used the model as my, well, it'll make sense once I start. So what you do is, let's see, create form and see how everything kind of goes clear. And then what you want to do is click on face, and it's going to make individual faces. And then what you want to do is object snap. And what that does is it follows the curvature of the face. And so see how like it doesn't go outside, but it just kind of follows the curvature. Yeah. So what I did was I just kind of started here-ish for the first strap. Click, and it's going to make a rectangle. So first corner, second corner, third corner, fourth corner. And it does that. So that's like the first portion of the strap. This is a form. It's not a body yet. So we can thicken this later. And then I push escape, and now we have this. Don't finish form yet. So now we can go to modify. This is the tricky part. Oh, do not forget to object snap. That keeps it close to the face. You can also offset it. So if you want it not like right up against the face, but maybe like a couple inches off or whatever, that's fine too. So let's look at it from this angle. This is the tricky part. I wish I could show you, but you have to, so we want to go this direction, right? So if you grab this, or like this arrow moves it this way, if you move this way, whatever, you can do this, all this kind of stuff. But this only moves the line. What you want to do is, I think it's Alt. You hold Alt, and it just stretches out. It creates like a secondary portion, I guess, of the face, and you just keep doing that until you have your strap. So I'm just going to go to the neck, only halfway though, because what I'm going to do is once I get to the middle portion of the neck, I'm just going to mirror it. So yeah, let's just keep doing this. So you click Alt, and then let go, click Alt. And then if it's like starting to get wonky, that's okay. You can just rotate it to where like in that direction you want it to go. You can also like modify this part if that's like weird. And it's like you can just keep modifying it. It's sometimes it'll glitch out. If that happens, just Control Z, go back and try again. Because sometimes it'll like won't follow the face or like glitch to the other side of the ear, whatever. If that happens, just try again. So let's do this. See how it's like following his neck or his chin, I guess. And oh, look at that. We actually made it to the center. And then, okay, let's do a second one because there's that. Oh, well, that's weird. That was weird. Okay. Object snap. This back strap here. 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 This one's going to go curve to maybe like right here, and I'm going to attach it, and I can show you how to do that. So modify, Alt, I guess click Alt, or Alt click, doesn't matter as long as you're holding Alt. Rotate. Oop, we're almost there, and then rotate again. And you want to make it as like parallel as you can, because this next part, it just helps it out if you do that. So I'm going to try and get as close as I can to those tangents. So like see this corner, and I'm going to try and get to this corner, and this corner. And this is called, let's see, what is it called? I think it's called merge edge. So click on the first edge, see right here, group 1, selected, group 2. So click on group 2, and then OK. And then it'll hopefully, yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. And then you can, again, keep modifying. So it's like, oh, that looks weird. You just kind of bring it down, whatever. This one looks, but that's not too bad. And then you can just, I'd probably bring it back up to the helmet. Yeah, see what I mean? It kind of goes wonky. So I would probably just get rid of the helmet. Nope. Sorry. Okay. Well, I can't right now. We can do that later. But yeah. Just bring it up as close as you can. And then I think I can symmetry. Select the face you want to mirror, this middle one. Oh, this guy's in the way. Oh, whoops, sorry. Stupid. Okay. Select the faces, which is these things that we just made. So this one, this one, this one. Oh, wait, hold on. So sorry. Okay, let's try that. Internal duplicate, sorry. I was trying for the mirror duplicates. There's a bunch of different mirrors. So duplicate is what we want because we're trying to mirror this along a plane. So we selected this spline body, mirror plane, which is this one. And this goes over here. Okay. And then here we go. So then we just do the same thing. Merge, or yeah, merge edge. And then you have your straps. But this isn't a form, so you just finish it. And it looks weird because it's like up against the face. That's okay, because we can just scale it a little bit. We can also just move it a little bit. Going back. Okay, at this point, I guess you don't want to object snap because then you can just move it just a tad out of his face so it's not like merging with his skin. Finished form. That's good enough. So, oh, look what happened. That's so weird. I hate it when that happens. So you just Control Z, it'll fix itself. So, let's take the time. We're just gonna keep that. So now we have a form. We can thicken this. Capture position because something's removed. That's okay. And whatever thickness you want your strap. How's that look? I think, do you guys have any more questions about the strap or like the placement of the strap? Because this, I guess that does look a little weird, so you can fix that by going back to edit and try and like attach it to a spot that you want it to be in. To there, there. And then if you wanted to like add a buckle or stuff, you would just create a solid and just move it to this location. At least that's what I did. But there's a ton of different ways that you could do that. Yeah, are there any more questions? Let's see, it's the light.
I have a question.
Sure.
If I wanted to create like a gradient in the light, would that be possible? Gradient color?
I don't think so. But that's Steven's question. That would be in rendering. What do you think? Can you add a gradient?
Yeah, there'd probably be a way to do it. You might have to, section it off. But as far as I know, I'm not sure unless there's like a default color option with a gradient, or if you add a texture that has a gradient applied to it, you could do it that way. So you probably have to import some sort of texture with a gradient already applied.
Yeah, thanks.
Someone go over how to import textures, either this tutorial or another one.
Okay. I guess
Yeah, we'll do it for the rendering
we'll do that
tutorial.
when we render this helmet or a different helmet.
And I guess for this one too, I guess if you just want to show how to open up the appearances tab to quickly demonstrate how you could do that, so on it. So yeah, if you already have a default texture, you can just right click on it and then click edit. And if you go to advanced, I think maybe would be it. You can, yeah, go over to the color, to the far right next to color, and there's this little drop down for image. You should be able to add an image with any gradient that you would like. Thanks for showing that, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of options here. So these are all the materials that's in my helmet right now. This is the foam. It looks weird because it's white. So like we can just change the color. Oh, that didn't change the color. Weird. Oh, because it's like a. Isn't it? That's weird. Oh, stupid. I was in the wrong one. That's the polystyrene. Okay, so this is an image right now. See how that's like a styrofoam texture, but you can just change it to color and make it black if you wanted to. And it still keeps that polystyrene texture, but it's just not as pronounced as like the original one that we had. Change the reflectance, which is like how shiny it is. Roughness is also like how bumpy it gets. And okay.
Oh, I don't know if I missed it, but did you show how to create like a vent that kind of like slants in?
Oh, from like an angle?
Yeah.
No, but I can. So that one's tricky. That one's gonna have, let's see, I want to add it because we had that first vent at the beginning of the video that was like at a weird angle. So let's see how we can do that. I want to go in at an angle, probably coming in at this direction, right? It's like a 45-degree angle from here and then like another 45 here. So that's going to be like messing around with planes. Let's see what happens. I would probably, let's add a plane here just for now. And then you can, 2 edges, 3 points. I guess 3 points would be best if you had, excuse me, if you had 3 points. But I don't, so I'm just gonna go the long way. Looks like we got, if you have a plane at an angle, you can choose this line, this axis, and then you angle it. I think I would probably go here. That wouldn't work either because I guess the 3 points would work the best. Okay, so we're gonna have to do 3 points. So that's fine. Let's see. Let's move this one here. And it's gonna be like a lot of trial and error for this. So we'll probably put a point here and another point over here. probably in this axis over here, and then a third point somewhere over here. So that way we can construct a line here. Okay, let's give that a try. We just need to add a point. Probably here. Finish that sketch. Go to this one. Probably, oops, sorry, point here. Finish that sketch, and then another last third point. Maybe like right there. What do you think? Yeah, and then it just connects those points. Now let's see what happens. I've never done this before, but it's probably gonna be fun. So here, this point, and this point. Hey, not bad for first try. So we have our plane, and it just creates it automatically, and it just stays there. Now you can do stuff with this plane. You can offset it even more, move it around. Anyway, but we just want to sketch on this plane. And then if you look at it with this button, that's a pretty good angle. And I'm just gonna make this triangle maybe like right here. It's not a triangle. And then extrude. But this is going to extrude through the entire helmet. But we don't want that, just the foam. You can also taper the angle, which is a pretty cool feature. Let's see what happens. We do one. Oh, that goes outwards. Probably want to do like -3 if it can. It cannot. Maybe 2. Very little taper, but you know. And then we don't want the shell 2 or, yeah, shell 1 or 2, just the foam. That's on one side. So then I think we can mirror it. Let's see. Did I say something? No. We can mirror a feature, which I think what we just did. Mirror plane would be this one. Okay. Oh, I wasn't sure if that was gonna work. And that's events from an angle. How's that look?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you can see if we can chamfer it. Ah, sorry. This is both. Might not like the chamfer. Oh. I should probably save. Okay. The issue with this chamfer, like why it's having this issue, is because my angle of the corners of the triangle, like these over here, this one, it's at a weird angle. It's like too tight for the chamfer that I'm trying to give. And so it's trying to over calculate it. And then my computer freezes up. So yeah, let's, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I guess that's a good place to stop. Did anybody have any questions? I'm so sorry. Oh, goody. Let's cancel that. Oh, we're not gonna do that again. Anyway, did anybody have any more questions? So we got the vents from an angle. So that was just 3 points in
Here,
space.
Brian?
Yeah.
Could you that exact same kind of shape that you had
Uh-huh.
that's extruded through the foam? Could you see if you could try to emboss it into the shell?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Have
we
you
need
tried
to do
that
an
yet?
emboss. Yeah, so I believe you can emboss.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work or not, but it may be worth trying to see if the shell can actually kind of bump in or bump out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, so you want the shell? Oh, to the shell to go into the foam? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, if you let's say you made it have a little step in, like if somebody wanted to do a pocket for a logo or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Probably do from the side. Oh, whoops. Construct first. Just gonna practice the emboss feature today. But yeah, it has issues with forms. It doesn't highlight faces for some reason. It only does these types of faces. Yeah, it only highlights faces that were cut out. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would do that. Do you know how you would do that, Stephen?
Sorry, what exactly
We're
were you
trying
trying to
to,
go for?
yeah, we're trying to emboss a shape into the side of the shell. But the thing is with emboss, the emboss feature doesn't like to deboss. Yeah, it doesn't like to highlight different parts of the
Yeah, these contours, because
contours. Yeah, exactly.
rounded. Yeah, I've had trouble doing this before, like kind of like doing extrusion or cut or some sort of emboss, like around, an interesting shape. Yeah, I'm not really sure if you can do that. I know that you can like get really complicated, maybe like try like a loft or something of that sort and try to loft it, like cut in at the appropriate angle.
Yeah.
Do a lofted cut. You can do stuff with sheet metal too.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
Yeah, that's really nasty though. But yeah, a lot of the tutorials I've seen, they kind of just cut straight into the material and don't take into consideration the rotundness or the roundness of it.
Yeah, it's really weird when it comes to these contours.
Yeah.
But let me give an example. This one, since this is a face that it likes. Let's see. Oops. Probably the top. Oh, hold on. So it looks like this was the face that you could. See what happens here. Just a letter. And then boss. Select the face. Yeah. Not connected. Okay. Weird. Yeah, it's having issues with these faces with an emboss feature. So
Yeah, we were struggling with that as well. So
I think the best way you would want to do is a decal.
Yeah, because the decal will conform to the
It'll just
shape.
conform to the shape, yeah. Let's see. Oh, I don't have this shape. Yeah. But I can look more into it later, and then if I find a video or like a tutorial, I can link it in the announcements.
So a good workaround would be like a kind of a fake emboss decal. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
yeah,
saying?
that's a good workaround. Yeah, let me download a logo real quick. I don't know where my Lamar logo went. Let me just stop sharing real quick. Oh, it's right here. Okay, let me share again. Okay, so here's it's a ping file, transparent on the outside, it's the Lamar logo. Open, and then you can select faces. So I would probably just do this one. And it just conforms to that body.
Where did you find those logos with the transparent?
You can Google, I think I Googled Lamar logo transparent Lamar logo ping, and then it'll show up either that way, or you can just go into Illustrator and then just cut it out and then save it as a ping. That also works. But anything with a transparent background, it's gonna do that. I'm sorry, hold on. This thing is in the way.
and if it doesn't have a transparent background, you can always drop out the background in Photoshop and
Yeah,
then save it as a JPEG or
Yeah.
PNG and use it then.
thing is, you can't really like bend it or conform. You can only scale. So you would want to like conform, or if you wanted it to have like a rounder look to it, or like follow this line, you would have to do that before importing it in, or just when it's already rendered, Photoshop the decal on. But yeah, you can do like opacity, scale, horizontal flip, change faces, things like that. This is a Lamar helmet. Just kidding.
Is it possible to change the glossiness of it or something, or possibly do it like just in a gloss?
I don't think so.
I
Not
can answer that question.
okay.
No?
Yeah, so through the basic decal editor, you can't do that. It just has like this default sheen. But I forgot what the terminology is. There's a way to do some more complicated texture editing where you can basically like subtract the background and make only the text itself the texture. So I think it's called a cutout feature in texture mapping, which you can do in Fusion. And then you can make the stuff that's not cut out, which would be the text, have any type of texture, sheen, finish that you want. So it's kind of an extra step that you have to do if you want to get a very refined glossiness. But for now, you're kind of stuck with this kind of default sticker appearance if you use the decal feature.
Yeah, very limited.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can do it if you really want to. You can get an exact appearance, which I'll try to mention that during rendering, kind of how to change that and use the cutout feature.
Thank you. Were there any more questions, or like, did I go over everything that we needed to? Raised area and the surface. Yeah, we did the bump surface. Guess this was more like in the beginning portion. But let's see what happens. So you have like a bumpier helmet. Just mess around. You can add lines. So let's say you wanted to add like a line between these two, or like a specific spot. So you can insert edge, click on this edge, and then you can drag it down to here or wherever you want. And then it'll kind of do this weird readjustment. Also, other things, insert points. You can crease it. I had someone wanting to crease a part of the helmet. So let's see, let's add a crease along this line. It'll kind of give this like angular look to the helmet. And if, yeah, so then if you wanted to, let's push OK, see what happens. If you wanted to have like a specific line, you'd have to adjust these lines beforehand, before creasing. So that, you can flatten it out by doing that. Rotate it. Move it forward a little bit. See what happens there. And then crease it. Thing is, you can't change like the type of crease that I know of. Yeah. That looks weird. Okay, let's see what happens. Might have issues computing some things. If you change too much of the base original form, it's going to have issues calculating everything you've done up to that point, because it's trying to offset some stuff. Yeah, it didn't work. That's okay. That looks funny. Let's see, what is that? Oh, it's the foam. Okay, so it didn't. That's not too bad. It looks weird, but yeah, you get the idea. You can add that little crease that you wanted right here. That was in that original helmet. You could add like a line and a crease, modify that line, and then add it right here. Probably just undo all that. Anybody else have questions? I think that's pretty much it. So for building a helmet in Fusion 360.
You want to go ahead and do that? Put your Mohawk rib in?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's add a rib. Let's see. I don't know how to do that. Oh, failed to create an edit curve or select another. I wonder if it's because this line. Oh, okay, so it looks like for a rib, you just need a singular line on a plane, and then you can just thicken it. It'll automatically, it looks like it'll just automatically attach to the surface that it's already like next to. So let's say you wanted a rib inside the helmet, it would just go along the contours of the helmet inside. Probably just thicken it here. You can flip the direction, symmetric to next. Yeah, depth option up to, things like that, symmetric. Okay, and then just, I think it becomes its own body. Actually, no, it looks like it attaches to the top. So it automatically attaches to whatever body is next to. And then you can how to fill it. See if that works. Probably gonna stay 0.00. Whoop. That's a really small fillet, but yeah. Probably wonder if you could add a fillet here to make it even smoother. Sure. Oh, you can. Ooh. Could probably add another fillet on this side. Oh, cool. Starting to look like those kid helmets with the mohawk. Nice. And then same deal with, if you wanted this rib to be on the side, you would do that 3-point plane. Put it like maybe right here. Actually, you probably don't even need a 3-point. You could probably just do an angle from the origin. Plane at an angle. And then just rotate it to where you want it. Probably like it sticks out this way. And just make a line. But yeah. Probably better with a 3-point plane, because then you can get it like more accurate in the middle of this part if you wanted a side angle rib. Okay. Anything else? Did any of your students have different questions, McCluskey?
I think you covered most everything that they were asking about. So,
Okay, cool.
and then some.
Nice.
Now I'm gonna get a bunch of mohawks and shark fins.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Ryan.
Yeah. If you guys have any more questions, send me a message, and I can get back to you. My office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3. And yeah.